Have you ever wondered why you don't have enough abundance? Abundance of anything. It could be abundance of money or love or a relationship or some other possessions, whatever it might be. And you're questioning why you don't have that. And there's only one answer. You haven't accepted yourself. That's the only reason. It's really uncomfortable at times to talk about money because when we find ourselves when we don't have enough, when we're in lack, then we start to experience our shame and our embarrassment, and we wonder what has happened to us. Why are we the ones who are broke? And I know this one because I've seen it and I've lived it. I've gone through it many, many times. And so what I want to say, you can't have shame. You can't have regret because there's a reason that you don't have the abundance. You just haven't taken the next steps into accepting who you are. And that's a long journey sometimes because as long as you're alive, there's going to be more for you to accept. But when we refuse to do that, then we start to suffer and we have lack in all sorts of areas and we wonder what has happened to us. I was in bed last night and I was so frustrated and I couldn't sleep. I'm just lying there and I said, I need to tell everyone what I'm doing. I need to tell, and I needed to tell people why I was making changes in my work and what was going on in the world. I said, I've got to tell them this. And it was so frustrating because I'm going in a place where I'm feeling broke. And I knew what it was. It wasn't that I had some problem with money. That is sometimes the issue. We have these patterns or difficulties with money. But first of all, it's we don't have to hold on to them either. Yeah, there may be generational patterns, we may have all of that, but we can change them unless we choose not to. And I was choosing not to because, see, it was really challenging to do my self acceptance because it was different. And for many people, that is the problem. You come into the world to become unique, and then you start becoming that person or going in that direction. You think, well, wait a minute, everybody's going to judge me. That can't be right. And then you end up in patterns that keep you broke in many ways, not just in money and relationships, whatever it might be. It keeps you that way. And I can say this because I know. When I was 19 years old, I left college because I thought I needed to have money. I was going through a lot of things, and so I just needed to have money. And my family thought I was out of my mind that I would just get up and walk out of college. But I did that. And then what I did is I got a really great job and I made a lot of money. I was making more money than my parents for a while. I was living in the lap of luxury. I had everything at 19 years old. That's what I was doing. And then it just kept going. Then I went to New York and I became even bigger there when with the business that I had and all these things I was doing. And then it all fell away. I lost it all. Everything was gone. I'm flat broke again. Came to California. Okay, let me start something else now. And I did a new thing. And then after years and years and years, that had a lot of money. I go, wow, that was really great. How did I do that one? And then several years ago, I said, I have to do another change now because I've got to do this next thing, but I'm going to go broke if I do it. And I did. But the other thing I knew is that's what I had to do because, see, now I can accept my authentic self. There are certain things that we cannot explain in life. And that's what I was trying to explain to so many. And then it was difficult. This morning I got up, though, and I saw a recording that gave me so much help that I could explain things in a different way. And it came from Greg Braden. See, Greg is really brilliant and he could explain things of what's going on in our world or what you might be experiencing in your life. He can put it into scientific terms. Well, see, abundance is scientific as well because it's just energy and it's available to everyone. So if we don't have it, somewhere we're stopping it from coming to us. Somewhere we have decided we don't want it. Yeah, I was doing that because, see, that step into accepting and coming into our authentic self is sometimes challenging. Greg explained all of that too. And that video, I'll put a link in this video so you can see it because it's really quite informative and it helped me so much. But see, the part that I couldn't tell you is this is how I changed my life. And last night, as I'm going through all of this stuff, I said, let me sit down and write it so I can explain it because it's never been completely explained. One, because it's still been developing. I've been developing a philosophy, and that's been my entire life. Now, we can't know when you're developing a philosophy, you don't know that you've done that because it's happening as it's occurring. But then you want to see the results. And Greg talked about this too. When you become aligned with yourself, then you can start to experience healing. Well, yeah, that's what's happened for me through Wilhelm. All the work that I've done. I mean, that's why I couldn't talk about it. I said, first of all, no one's going to believe me that I've done that because it seemed so impossible. But then I knew that I needed others to believe in impossibilities because we don't evolve or create better lives or a better world unless people like me can come in and bring new information, which again, Greg talked about in his video. But this is what I wrote yesterday, last night, as I'm in my drama. But I'd like for you to see it because this really will explain so much of it. And it's called Your Last Development Program, Life Transformation for the New World. That is the nature of the work I received from Wilhelm in Your Last Development Program. I had known I was receiving the philosophy when I began compiling. I had not known I was receiving a philosophy when I began compiling this information in 1989. I used it all those years to transform and move through my ascension journey. However, I didn't know its more significant purpose. It wasn't until 2021 that I realized that this work was meant to help us navigate this transition in our world. The idea was that we would be moving through a planetary ascension, which would cause each individual to move through their ascension, which would be accelerated and possibly uncomfortable. If we resist the energies of the changes, we will have difficulty in our lives and experience them in our world. Wilhelm's idea was to provide information for individuals to connect to their authentic selves, use self actualization principles, and design the life they want to have. The philosophy first acknowledges that individuals' willingness to address their issues honestly and actively decide to ascend to a higher state of understanding of consciousness. Uh, and it is a generational change, which is why it is so intense, along with the once in a lifetime planetary changes. Most of the work in the program is from 2012, but the entire philosophy covers over 35 years. The program's philosophy says every soul is born with worth and value, and some unique gift that once developed could provide them the life they desire. Still, it acknowledges the fierce blocks we all possess. Many appear to be judgmental of ourselves and others, some of which are generational and much must be released. The philosophy is meant to uplift society, and the individual is meant to thrive. That is what I was bringing into the world, and I couldn't have told you before, but that is what happened. And Greg explained it so brilliantly, and he even went back to 2012 too. There's an order in the universe, things that we can't see or put together. He talked about time and the illusion of time, and he used Einstein in there because there are certain people that will come and give us this information. When I started using different dates from different decades, I had no clue as to why Wilhelm was doing that, but it was to get us to understand that we evolve in our consciousness over time. So we must give ourselves that time to do that, but then understand that the world and consciousness, the collective consciousness of our world is doing the same thing. So all the things that are happening in the world, I've known were going to be coming up, which is why I wanted my work to be out there, because if we uplift our energies, more people become happy and abundant and successful, then we start changing things. That's what it was. But explaining that was challenging because I had to come into self-acceptance. What I want more than anything is for everyone to accept who they can become because it's always there. It's always in front of you. It's never limited, but we have to become willing to move beyond the barriers or the blockages. And then we have that self-acceptance, and then we will have abundance. This is all the work that I've been doing. And I hope that this helps you to understand what might be happening in your life and what we're seeing and witnessing in our world, because we will have a little bit more of it. But if we come together and uplift ourselves, things will change. That's why I'm doing everything. All right. See you guys soon.